Hello Stockland Green and welcome to a special video where I'm joined by a very special guest, Mrs. McCarthy. Now, Mrs. McCarthy is joining us this evening because of her background in supporting people with their mental health. And it's obviously been a very testing time for a lot of people with their mental health. So we're just going to go through a few questions and give you a signpost as to how you can get support if you're struggling with that. So, Mrs. McCarthy, may I call you Amy?
You may call me Amy.
Okay, so how do you think lots of people are probably feeling at this moment in time?
I think people are probably feeling a lot of mixed emotions. I think people would be feeling worried and anxious, sad that they can't see their friends or family members, frustrated at being stuck at home for long periods of time. I think lots of feelings are probably being felt.
Yeah, and I think it's quite natural to feel that way, isn't it?
I think it's very natural to feel that way.
Yeah, so if you find these feelings really hard to deal with, what would you do at that point? How would you seek support if you were finding these feelings really difficult and challenging?
I think the first thing is to recognise that the way you're feeling is completely normal. And from my own experience in the work that I do, often people feel very isolated when they feel anxious and worried because they think that they're the only one feeling that way. Well, that's never true. That's never been true in any of my experience. If you feel that way, there is always someone out there that feels exactly the same as you. So I think the first thing anyone can do is accept the way they're feeling and don't feel that they're feeling anything that shouldn't be felt. I think the second thing that someone can do is speak to someone.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Because a problem shared is a problem halved. And I think that's as true today as it's ever been. And from my own personal experience, whenever I'm worried, I find that when I talk to somebody, immediately if I feel lighter, I feel better for sharing my problems. And also what normally happens is the other person probably feels the same way or has felt the same way, and they can offer me some support and advice. So I think those are the two things that you can do really easily and find someone to talk to. Ideally, they'd be in your own house. So if you've got someone at home that you can talk to, then do that. But if they're not in your own house, then find someone outside. It might be a friend or a relative that's a bit further afield. Use the telephone, use your social media, use whatever you need to do to contact them.
Or equally contact people like the pastoral leaders or the B2A team within school or a tutor.
Yeah. Anyone that you feel that you can share your thoughts and feelings with, then do that. Because you'll feel better.
Okay, and what if talking about the problem doesn't seem to help you as much as you'd hoped? What would you do then?
I think
what kind of support is available to young people in the Birmingham area at this time?
So at the moment, and there's a link that you've got on the slide.
So there's a couple of links that you're going to see here to some tips from UNICEF for kind of managing your own mental health during this difficult situation, but also this second link here, which Amy will expand upon a little bit.
So in the Birmingham area, there's been organisations that have pulled together to produce resources for people that support them during COVID-19. So there's lots of different support and advice that's available, from housing related issues to accessing food and essential items. And in that link, there's a list. So maybe for older siblings or parents.
It could also be very useful as well.
And for grandparents. In the UNICEF link, there's lots of information about how to maintain your mental health as a young person. So distracting yourself, finding hobbies and interests that maybe that you haven't had the time for before, you can do it now. And making sure that you keep your relationships with your friends up. So that's a really good link as well.
And actually, we've also got some numbers on this next slide of people that you can ring.
Yes. So these are helplines, and there's one for counselling and support, which is 24/7, and therefore ages between 0 and 25. So in that table there, you can ring or email those services, and they will provide you with emotional support and advice.
Thank you very much. And I suppose one final thing for students and parents alike, if you've tried all these things and you're still experiencing a lot of sort of difficulty with your mental health to the point where you feel it affects your safety, what should you do?
Okay, so if you're feeling like you can't keep yourself safe, or you know somebody that is feeling that way,
Yeah.
then that is an emergency. And so you need to contact a medical practitioner. It can either be through those phone lines, because they will direct you appropriately, or through the GP numbers. And that's the best way to get support as quick as you need it.
Okay, thank you very much. That's been really, really helpful. We are going to post this PowerPoint onto our website so that you will be able to access it, and obviously contact the school if you need anything, and above all, stay safe. Goodbye.